Ladies, gentlemen, gamers! It's your favorite unemployed League of Legends big brain patch note reactor back at it again with the white vans. Reacting to, you know it, another patch from League of Legends. So, I've reacted to a shit ton of League stuff today. And usually I would react to patch notes live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Tecnics channel. However, I am very busy and there's a lot of shit to do. So I will be recording this for time's sake purposes because I'm not ready to stream. But I stream there, come check me out. Anyway, let's get right into the patch notes because I have a lot to do today and I don't have much time. So, patch 13.23 notes. It's patch 13.23. Believe it! And that should be a little hint at the skins coming, which I actually had no clue about. I was actually blindsided. I saw one of the skins already because I got spoiled by it from my other league reactions that I was doing today. But and, I'll just say the one I was spoiled by. It was B Cause, which is ridiculous. But I love the stupid B skin, but we'll go over that at the end. Anyway, believe it! That reminds me of Naruto. Anyway, in this week's patch notes, we're focusing on addressing a few outliers and refining changes made to or in a few of the last patches. I don't feel like they're going to do too much because preseason's right around the corner, and that is going to change up a bunch of stuff. So I feel like they're not going to change up too much shit here. Anyway, we have changes to Cassant. We're focusing more and more on getting the 2024 changes polished and ready, so beware this patch on 13.24 may be a bit smaller and less complex than usual. Thank the good Lord, thank God for me. Even though I'm unemployed, I feel like I have less time than ever. In other news, we have some unbelievably adorable bee skins coming out of this patch. A random Nexus Blitz and ARAM balanced adjustments, as always, and last but not certainly least, this is the patch that Riot ID changes are coming into effect, which I've already done, and if you haven't, it's a whole big bullshit where they're basically trying to centralize your name for all Riot services. We made a few changes, so make sure you check those out down below. TFT has a new set launching, which I'm not really into, but I know it's like the whole music set because they revealed it at Worlds, which I reacted to, and that reaction's on my Twitch channel, not on YouTube. So anyway, let's look at the patch highlights for patch 13.23. Wow, it really looks light. Holy shit. So, what the fuck am I even seeing right now? Anyway, so on November 20th, which is today, we phased out the uses of summoner names and moved all players to exclusive Riot IDs to create a more unified experience across all our games. Read more about this change here, which I will actually do on my own because I'm actually quite curious. We've made updates to the transition to summoner names to Riot IDs. You'll now be able to change your name for free every 90 days. That's actually really good. Excuse me. And this change went into place today, and everyone has been granted a free name change if they'd like to use it. And you can read about it here. Is that the same thing? No, it's not. Wow, those are two separate articles. Okay, cool. So, on to the champion changes. Azir. They're going to nerf Azir because Azir was played at Worlds by Faker, and Faker absolutely rammed asshole with it. So, what are they doing? Azir's lack of interaction with on-hit items has been a source of confusion and disappointment for players new to this champion. I believe his soldiers don't proc it, but I actually don't know. It's really weird. This was recently highlighted again when Arena released, as there were several augments that could easily be cool for Azir but actually didn't work and baited players into taking them. After exploring allowing his soldiers to proc on-hit items, we believe that we believe this a nice win. Wow, I think that's one of the first times I've seen a grammar error that bad. We believe this a nice win for the Emperor of the Sands will enhance this fantasy on both Summer's Rift and Arena. As this will increase his item scaling potential, we did need to pair it with some proactive nerfs so that he doesn't go too crazy. Because Azir has been going buck wild, so what are they doing? So his magic damage on W is getting nerfed base damage wise. Nerfed scaling wise. Nerfed almost every way possible. However, now W attacks on the primary target, however, whichever one you clicked on, now trigger on-hit effects at 50% damage value, 100% in Arena, because I guess they're bringing Arena back soon. This includes on-attack effects such as Rage Blades, Phantom Hit, Runan's Hurricane, and Kraken Slayer. That's actually fucking wild. Because this should proc Nashor's, even though I thought Nashor's was already procced, but damn, that's really fucking good. That is really fucking good. Like, insanely good. Anyway, my mother seems to be calling me, so let me pick this up real quick, and this is not getting edited out of the video. Hold on. Okay, I apologize about that, but that's the thing about recording these shits and not editing them because I'm lazy. Anyway, I made it quick. So let's keep going. So Azir, pretty good. Moving on to Briar. I really hope they do not nerf Briar further because Briar is pretty okay. I think on release we thought she was bad, but she was actually good. And then they nerfed her, and then I think she's alright. But she's very, I don't know, like, Briar is supposed to be strong because she's kind of hard. Like, if you play her wrong, you essentially do nothing. You're nothing with this champion. And if you play her right, you're pretty overpowered. So obviously she's a little unbalanced for sure, but it's hard to say because it's really easy to not do good with this champion. I think this champion is somewhat skill restricted. I was gonna say skill gapped, but anyway, let's see what's going on. Despite the nerfs, Briar keeps performing better patch over patch as players continue to learn and master her. Wow. So we're back to tap her power down in a way that will leave her less oppressive than before. They gotta nerf the W. With these changes, we're continuing to attempt to close the gap between lethality and fighter builds. I'm trying to think. From what I've seen more lethality than I think I've seen fighter. Lower health means she'll have to be more reliant on bonus health from other sources, so they're trying to buff fighter build, essentially. And lower burst damage decreases lethality's relative value in favor of longer fighter patterns. So they're trying to, again, buff her fighter build. So her base health is going down, and her W, oh god, I hate looking at all these numbers, is going uh down in terms of scaling and missing health. Damn. I mean, Briar's slightly weaker, but the numbers aren't too bad from what I could tell. But damn, yo, they're really smacking Briar on her fucking bare feet. This is sad. Anyway, Briar's a little bit worse. I'm a little sad about that. I hope they don't nerf her again because I feel like Briar is a little skill capped, like I said. But I guess we'll see. Draven, an actual change to Draven. This is where I believe they used Draven in Worlds, in Finals even. I think T1 used Draven and they kind of fucked some ass. So maybe I could see some nerfs, but I feel like Draven, again, is like Briar, where he's skill capped. He's good if you do good with him, but if you don't do good with him, you just suck dick. So let's see what they're doing. Our quality of life change. Draven. So quality of life adjustment. Draven R now returns to his body after striking a champion while he's dead. Wow, that's actually a really good quality of life. I would say that's even a buff. That is actually kind of wild. Anyway, let's keep going. So we have Janna. Janna, I think, like I've said before multiple times, but they did change it recently in one of the patches, where Janna was just a Q spam bot, not even ult. Her ult is like fucking terrible. Well, relative. It's kind of lackluster. But anyway, Q for Janna is basically her bread and butter, and that was the whole champion for the most part. They did not like Battle Janna, but I guess they hated Q spam Janna even more, so they returned Battle Janna. So let's see how that landed. So, passive bonus move speed adjusted, and by the way, I have not seen Janna, I just see shithead supports. This is where they need to buff supports as an overall thing, because these stupid mage support bullshits, Shaco, Lux, Senna even, which is not a mage, it's an AD, but same principle. These things need to get out of the fucking bot lane. They need to have a bot lane rebirth, but that's not going to happen. Hopefully with preseason it will, but it probably won't either. But anyway, I've barely ever seen Janna, and even with the changes, I don't know how they landed because no one plays this champion because they play shithead mages. So I don't know how they landed, but let's see. The W cooldown decreased, targeting adjusted, R cooldown decreased. Wow. Though there's some room for players to optimize Janna further, notably switching back to Aerie now that Helen Gale spam is weaker, she is wound up in a weaker spot than before the change. We're giving her back some power to make sure she feels good to play at all points in the game. One notable factor is that she's performing much worse in the early game than she's used to, so we're attempting to specifically help her early power. So this is kind of what I think I said before in the last patch notes video that adjusted her. This is going to be a hard change for Janna players to swallow. I think it's a good change that happened, but it's a change that completely changes up the gameplay style. Before, you could sit back, completely safe, Q spamming your tornado at people. Now you have to go up, think, and react, and actually use your abilities. And that puts you in a vulnerable position where you could die. So Janna probably is getting more fucked, and people don't like it. Even though the gameplay is better, you actually have to work for it now instead of just being AFK auto brain. So I'm assuming, and I guess I rightly assumed, that's what kind of happened. So the change to Zephyr's range should be a buff overall. It will now perfectly match her attack range, which I'm surprised it didn't, which is almost identical against small targets, but meaningfully easier to wield against larger champions like Cho'Gath. Cool. So the bonus movement speed on Tailwind is just equalized at 30. That's overall a buff except for late. The W cooldown is going down by 1. I think that's really good. And then it's going to be 650 to 550 range edge to edge, and this should make W just overall better, according to them. And then the cooldown of the ult, which I think is not that good either way. The ult's biggest thing, because the heal is basically negligible, the ult's biggest thing is it's a movement restriction. Like, it's a CC, right? You're not using the ult to heal most of the time. Sometimes you do, but most of the time the ult is used as a displacement. So having it go down by 20 seconds is pretty fucking good, because you're going to get a cooldown anyway because you're playing support. Janna, slightly better. Very nice. Probably still not going to see her over all the fucking mage fuckheads. J4. So J4 I think is pretty good. I'm pretty sure it's just a damage numbers thing. If they reduce his damage numbers or whatever, it's fine. I think he's just a person that's very reliant on the numbers, as is everyone, but he's very simple. His kit's very simple. If you land your one combo, you're playing him correctly, and if the numbers aren't there, even if you play him correctly, he's not going to be that good. And the fact that he's good means his numbers are good. Too good, maybe. I expect him to get nerfed. Jarvan 4, the fourth, has been very prominent in solo queue with solid pick ban and win rates. He currently possesses a large amount of haste through his build, which is leading to oppressive QE uptime, which is actually making the champion pretty fun. To reduce this particular strength and his funness, we're increasing the cooldown on his Q. See, they should just reduce the damage. Don't decrease the fucking, or increase the cooldown, decrease the damage. Which should still make it accessible when you've built some ability haste, but not be quite as oppressive. So it's going from 6 to 8. Wow. Wow, I thought they would do it by 1. They did it by 2. They slapped him up. Damn. Okay, Jarvan's slightly worse, but I think this is fine. Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. This champion is so annoying. So, I'm already upset because I'm seeing a whole ass fucking paragraph here. Because all of Riot's new champions have some sort of issue. I can't wait for Hui to release. I just reacted to Hui 2. I can't wait for Hui to release. But god motherfucking damn, when he releases, we're going to have to read fucking essays. Like, Jesus Lord, man, for the patch notes. So, K'Sante, the problematic person of the top lane. There's a certain subset of champions that I think are so problematic, they either shouldn't have been made, or, like, Riot is just, like, torturing themselves with them. Yuumi is one of them. K'Sante is another. Like, this guy just can't get a fucking break. It's fucking ridiculous. So, what are they doing? K'Sante's kit update back in 13.20 has moved him in a direction that we want, with more room for opponents to counterplay. However, we're still been trying to land his tuning to ensure he has a proper spread of strong and weak matchups. The goal with this patch are to ensure that K'Sante has a real difficulty in bad matchups, which is hard because he just spams armor and gets, well, sorry, not even armor. He spams defensive options. And if you spam defensive options, but you scale off defense, there's an issue there. You should never fucking lose. So, a weaker shield, costlier Q, and especially reduced damage as level 6 power spike should ensure strong 1v1 laners can excel against him. He's still meant to be a strong scaling, sometimes warden, sometimes skirmisher, and will continue to retune him to ensure he's a high-skilled champion with mastering without easily dominating. So they're saying he's too easy. This is where, I don't know if I'm just stupid, which may be true, but when I played K'Sante before all this rework bullshit, even I was sucking dick at him. I feel like this champion is so skill-capped, and I hate using the same words so many times, but it really is true. Like, I've used him a couple times, and I've sucked dick each and every time. I don't know how to play this fucking guy, and apparently people are going stupid sicko mode with him. So now that he's even worse, and he still needs to get even more worse because he's too easy, I really question this shit. I don't get it. So, let's see what they're doing. The Intofos are going up in mana, which is terrible. The damage of his Q is going down. Okay, just by base, that's fine. The W fixed a bug that was really, really fucking stupid, I think. But that's cool. The E now is buffed. Oh shit, but scale's worse, okay. And then his R going all out is nerfed early, buffed later. And now he gets excuse me, less damage, base damage. Okay, less base amount of damage, bonus attack damage. I don't know, man. I don't understand what they were thinking with Cassant. Like, this guy builds tank, scales off tank, then has a mode where he's just an animal fucking I'm gonna kill you gorilla. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. But hopefully they fucking tune him out. I don't know. I don't play him. I don't care about him. I don't even go against him because people cannot use this guy unless they're good. But apparently he's too fucking good. This is like, I'm trying to think who's similar to this. Like Azir. It's basically like Azir. They kept nerfing Azir because Azir was crazy in pro, but no one could use him in regular. And I feel like that's what's going to end up happening with Cassant. It's ridiculous. Anyway, now we have the Pooch, which I've somewhat played and I somewhat like, but I thought she would be more of a bleed character, but she's not. But anyway, let's keep going. So, Nefiri was created with the goal of being a relatively easy to play assassin that doesn't have a lot of pressure to end games quickly, as she was specifically geared towards average skill games. I feel like I somewhat agree with that. She's definitely succeeding at being one of the most straightforward assassins. Yeah, she literally has a point and click dash with a good late game to boot. That's pretty good. However, she's just winning too many games right now. Damn. So we're taking aim at a nerf. In an effort to retain as much agency over the game as possible, we're preserving her gold scaling instead of taking down her base damage to ensure that she must perform well to continue securing takedowns. Damn, I actually really like Neferi. I fully agree that like she really can't carry a game. She's an assassin. Assassins typically don't carry games, but I like Neferi. I think she's fun. I think she's unique. I think she's fun. I think that the top lane assassin sort of thing is really cool. But I'm sad that she's apparently too good. I don't feel like that. I feel like she's a better than normal. I feel like she's above the bar for sure, but not oppressively so. Despite what we saw in release, after release, I feel like she just kind of landed and she's just been there. It's like Riot says. I feel like she's been middle of the pack, just maybe slightly above it. But anyway, what are they doing to her pack? Let's see. Pack mate attack damage is going somewhat down. Okay, base damage. That's not too bad. And then the E, the Eviscerate, which is the ability that everyone forgets actually is pretty important and does good damage. Her flurry damage is going down by a decent amount, but the scaling is the same, so her base damage. And then the maximum damage is now going to be less by 25. That's not too bad. Okay, Neferi slightly worse. I think it's fine. Don't know if you're more, please. Riven. I haven't seen Riven in a hot minute. If I had to guess, I would say they're buffing her. Riven was such a popular champion. She was like the champion to play if you were good at top lane. If you were good at top lane and you were good at Riven, you'd win most matchups, but I feel like they either nerfed her, took away mechanics from her, or other champions, like fucking Cassant, basically came out and overshadowed her. So let's see what's happening. I hope they buff her, even though I hate going against Riven. It's sad to see such a cool champion, because I especially love the way she looks, oh mama, get put where she is in the meta. I feel like she's just kind of forgotten about. And for some reason, Aatrox is used more, where I feel like Aatrox is like somewhat worse than her now with what they did with him. But let's see. The anti-snowballing update hurt Riven a bit, as she's often relying on snowballing on an early lead, while she's not strictly weak in the hands of her most practiced players. Box. We'd like to give her a small boost in power to make that dedication pay off a little harder. The main thing about Riven is if you can fucking auto cancel, which I don't even know how to do it. I want to learn it at one point in my league career, and then I said, fuck it, this is too hard. I'm just going to do something else. But if you can learn that, you'd be pretty good at Riven as long as you have core base mechanics down. So what are they doing? They're increasing her scaling by 5%. That's cool. And the bonus attack damage on the R is going up by 5% from 20 to 25. That's pretty good. Riven is going to hurt slightly more. That's pretty good. Trundle. What do we think of Trundle? So, Trundle. I think Trundle is pretty straightforward. I think obviously he's best into tank comps, but this is where Trundle is very simple. I kind of see him in a similar vein as J4. It's basically a numbers game. Like, he pretty much only has the pillar to help him out. And then if there's a tank on the enemy team, he's good. I think overall Trundle is a very solid pick. He's not an overall, general pick. He is definitely a, not a niche pick, but a targeted pick, if that makes sense. And I like Trundle. As far as where I think his strength is at right now, I'm not too sure. I think he's alright. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's great. I honestly feel like he's like Neferi. He is in a similar vein of skill and play as Jarvan, but in the same way they Riot Season of Fury is how I see Trundle. He's good, he's alright, he's probably middle of the pack near there, but slightly better. But let's see what they're doing. Trundle hasn't been performing well as a top laner. I actually think he's a better jungler now, but okay. Which means he needs a bit of help. This is where it's ironic because his passive works so well in lane. We're looking to decrease his Q mana cost as he relies on this ability to trade and clear waves, which should help him out. He does not rely on Q to clear waves. I mean, even though it does give him AD, but we're also buffing his AD growth as this should increase his scaling and Trinity Force synergy. Damn. So his AD growth is going from 3 to 4. That should be a difference of, I'm not going to do the math right now. Oh, fuck, let me do the fucking math. Okay, so 3 to 4 is the change of 1. So 3 times 18, you're getting 54. 4 times 18, it should be a difference of 18. 64. Yeah, I'm so stupid. So you're getting 18 extra AD, and then that's going to synergize even more with Trinity Force, so that's good. And then the Chomp is going down by 10 mana, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's 1/3 of a decrease, pretty much. It's going from 30 to 20. That's pretty good. Honestly, Trundle is slightly better. So far, the theme of this patch has been slightly better, slightly worse. So, Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is getting new skin, which means he's probably getting buffed. So, let's take a look at what they're doing. Vel'Koz is currently fairly weak, which is sad. Because Vel'Koz, if you can aim your shit, you should be eating ass. But even if you do aim your shit, I think Vel'Koz's best role is support. He can't keep up as a mid because he has... Like, he's too hard. He's too fucking hard. This is the same reason I think Xerath is a better support. They're going to scale into being a mage anyway, but now they have the added safety of not having to perform mid lane duties. Like, and they have a buffer because they're going to go for the AD anyway. The enemy's going to just kill the AD, not them. Hopefully. Well, hopefully not, but it's realistically what's going to happen. Anyway, let's see what they're doing to Vel'Koz. So Vel'Koz is fairly weak, which is sad, as both a support, which is disgusting, and a mid laner, and can use a little bit more power. In this patch, we'll be buffing his passive damage, as there's a reasonable amount of interesting gameplay in triggering it to make the proc more rewarding for Vel'Koz players. I think that's true. I think his proc should be nuking you. While this will also increase his power during R, which it should, he only procs his passive once per cast, which creates more of a reward for the risk of immobilizing Vel'Koz. Yeah, because Vel'Koz is like paper. Like, if you get on him, aside from his E, he basically has nothing to stop you. He's just going to stare you in the eye while you stab him in it. So, third stack damage. And remember, this is true damage, I believe. Or, is it? I actually don't remember. Fuck. So now it's going from 35 to 180. And the scalings go up. Wow, they actually decently buffed this. I would say this is decently medium change. Not bad. And then Ziggle. I think Ziggs kind of sucks ass. I just basically think it's his damage. He has the CC. He has the annoyingness with the little bomb minefield. He's great at taking towers. But his damage just does not keep up. I wish they would buff his damage. But I don't want him to be too good because then he's oppressive. So it's a little bit of a weird guessing game with Ziggs. But anyway, let's see. Our armor nerf from last patch ended up not being as meaningful as we had hoped due to how far back Ziggs can play. So we need to nerf him again as he's performing quite well in solo queue. Wow, I have not seen him. But he is annoying, though. I will agree with that. Our main goal is to reduce how oppressive his early game is by nerfing the base damage on his Q since it now has a more reliable hitbox. We're also including a nerf to his W uptime. This is a strong engage-disengage tool that can also be used for wave clear. And this is where, combined with his E, I think this is fair, since it has a relatively low cost. So, his base damage is going up. That's weird. His Q, which is the main ability of his kit, is going down by 10. That's nothing. That's fine. And then the W satchel charge is getting a longer cooldown earlier, which I think is fair. As long as it's the same late, I think earlier it should matter more. And the mana cost is going slightly up. So overall, Ziggs is slightly more worse. I think this is fine. See, it's hard to quantify these changes because Riot does it in such piecemeal little, like, 1,000 cuts mentality, where it's like, looking at them individually, you don't really feel the effect, but over time, if you take all the changes and you compile them into one and you see like how far the champion changes over multiple patch notes, it's probably a lot worse. But it's hard to tell when it's this split up. But this doesn't look too bad. If they do it again, hopefully I remember what they did here, and Ziggs will be more worse. But let's keep going. So, Turret Gold. In this patch, we'll be adjusting Turret Gold rewards in an effort to make split pushing a more satisfying path to power. Thank God I love split pushing. Inner turrets will have 125 gold shifted from global into local, which will raise the individual power level of anyone brave enough to push into enemy territory. Rework is getting buffed. We're also shifting and raising the value of inhibitor turrets to make them a much more valuable thing overall. Anyway, I had to like speak with someone real quick. So, we raised the individual power level and brave. We're also shifting and raising the value of inhibitor turrets in order to make them a much more valuable objective overall. It isn't worth taking down an inhibitor turret while splitting, which is not true. It's very worth. It's just really hard because you're so close to the base. It's dangerous, but it is worth. So we'd like to make this dangerous objective more worthwhile. So statistically, top laners are the most turret gold out of any role in the game. Oh wow. So relatively, well, yeah, mid laner just roams. Top is just kind of the own island, so that makes sense. And local turret value share the more power, increase their agency, so they're indirectly buffing top according to them. Also, did you know turrets have items in their inventory that explain some of their various roles? I actually did know that, yes. They received a small clarity and context pass to be a bit more informative and easy to read. Oh, that's nice. So, mid lane gold is going up, side lane gold is going up, global gold is going down. So, more for you, less for everyone else. Very good. Total gold value is unchanged. Nice. And then the total gold value for inhibitors is going up by 200. That's pretty good. But at that point in the game, I really feel like it doesn't matter too much. I think this gold changes matters more for early than for late. But anyway. Gold reward tooltips updated to both show local and global turn, updated format of other items. Cool, nice. ARM adjustments, I don't care. Nexus Blitz adjustments, I don't really care. Ping changes. An ally scoreboard item ultimate summer spell cooldown ping is sent to the team with the item abilities in the last 50% of its cooldown. See, look at all these stupid changes Riot has to do to like allow you to communicate with your teammates in certain ways. Sure, it's gonna get abused. Sure, this game is toxic as hell, but just give the people the option to turn it off or have it be off by default and you're able to turn it on. Because just restricting it in these weird ways, like, oh, only if it's this much can you actually see it, or only after 10 seconds after a kill can you ping someone. Like, it's so stupid, it's so dumb, it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. And, like, it's such a roundabout way, and eventually, if they keep doing it like this, they will probably get to a sweet spot. But it's causing a little bit of friction within the community, and I think it's just babying us. It's so stupid. It's taking away agency, which I never like. Give people the options, don't restrict it for them. Unless absolutely necessary. Anyway, ping changes known bugs. The fact that there's like bugs with this shit is so stupid, bro. So it'll show the party thing in front of it even though everyone can see it. That's so dumb. So Mythic Shop, no one cares. Bug fixes. In an effort to simplify the career stats tab, we've updated it. I feel like no one uses that shit. So now only the current calendar year and most recent year of data can be viewed. Nice, no one cares. Bug fixes, I don't care. And then finally the upcoming skins. So not much, but pretty interesting. So we have B Crank, which is very interesting because I feel like Blitzcrank kind of sucks dick and he has really good skins already. But this skin looks pretty cool. I like B Crank, very interesting. King Begar looks fucking hilarious and stupid. I actually think Vagar's skins sort of suck, but this one looks interesting, I guess. And Bkaz just looks weird. Having like Vel'Koz be like a B in the middle is so weird. He looks like the King Bee too, even though Vagar's the king. He's King Begar, which is hilarious. But yeah, Bkaz looks very, very weird. Like, I don't like how he's not an eyeball anymore. It's like a fucking bee. That's so weird. But it looks cute. These skins are cute as hell. I love these shits, but pretty light on the skins. Hopefully next patch is gonna go crazy, and I think it is, because I saw a little spoiler, and I think it's the Winter Bless skins or Snowdown or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. But probably not Snowdown because Riot is you know, not really, they're too corporate. They don't do events like that anymore. They're too corporate now. They want it to be easily just like, you know, copy paste push in. We could do this every Snowdown or every Christmas if we want to. It's pretty fucking lazy. But anyway, that's it for the patch. I think we've done this in not record time, but pretty good amount of time, 30 minutes basically. Anyway, this is the whole patch. I think overall this patch is kind of eh. I mean, the Azir change is great. The Briar change is sad. Draven is pretty good. Jen is whatever. Jarvan is eh. Cassante just annoys me. Fucking Neferi's whatever. Riven is eh. Trundle is eh. Vel'Koz is eh. Ziggs is eh. Everything else is eh. Honestly, I think this patch is just honestly whatever. No change to ADs, so yeah, whatever. I'm gonna give this patch like a rare, just neutral rating. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Mark Mills. 5 out of 10 to me is just normal, whatever. Not impressed, not sad. It's honestly just whatever. Maybe 5.5. 5.5 because of the Azir change, because I really like Azir. But aside from that, they're not wrong. This patch is really not anything crazy, and they're getting ready for preseason, so it makes sense. Or the new season, rather. By the way, that's going to be it. 5.5 Mark Merrills out of 10. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone comes to my stream at Twitch TV Tecnics channel. And I'm going to go and get out of here and do other stuff. Hope everyone enjoyed. Eee-hee-hee!